Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War and Peace 2. We're still in turn 11, August the 31st, and last episode I was able to break through here, quite happy about that, able to get all the way up to Trudova with the tanks. We'll see how that works out on the next episode. Whether we might be able to push further, we'll have to consolidate, whether these guys can move forward. They might abandon all of this and just teleport back to Leningrad. I can see them do that. Certainly wouldn't surprise me if they did. Got a little mini pocket here. It's not bad. And then we still have to deal with Army Group Center. In the south, we took Kiev, so I'm happy about that. Got this tightly pocketed now, and we're basically approaching the Dnieper on almost all fronts. Crossed it down here at the Kherson Bridge. Attacked Odessa again. They're now down to 0 fort. With some luck, I'll be able to take it on the next turn. We'll see. I'm mildly optimistic. So anyway, let's start down here. So these guys, they don't really have a whole lot of business doing anything down here. I just don't really see what they're supposed to go and do now. Ideally, they would already cross the river, but let's actually just go in here first. Okay, there's nothing there. I need to keep a little bit of distance, just in general. And just trying to figure out what the best possible location would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just keep them in here, and if I move you back, that's fine. This way they can actually I don't need to refit them, they can just be ready, but they can reaccumulate some points here. I don't need to take any territory there anyhow. So around here, there's no real reason for me to like really battle a whole lot. I can't really take any of these hexes properly. This is just, you know, pretty tight. So I should probably just try to free up some forces to move further up north, because that way, if I just keep one unit in between, I can start sending up more troops up to the north. That's basically what I'm looking to do. So if I keep the 7th Corps here, let's just move them back for a little bit, and I'll start from here. The first unit that I will need is on this hex, and that will free up the 23rd, which can then go all the way into that swamp hex, which I know it's kind of weird, but that allows me to free up the 258th and the 229th, while I'm keeping these guys as a defense. It also lets me get you in here and free up you guys from the second army. Let's get you over up until this position for now. Well, I can actually move them in here without too much trouble, which also frees up the 98th. So by holding only marginal positions over here, I can concentrate my forces further up to the north by quite a bit, and of course that's really what I want to do, because I don't really care about this territory in the center here at the moment. If they retreat, I'm just gonna take the territory. That's fine, but I have no business doing anything here. The only thing that I eventually want to get is Sumy and Kursk. Well, Kursk and Oral, basically. But if I break through here in the center, I can then potentially swing south later on from Oral towards Kursk, for example, with 2nd Panzer. Like, there's no real reason for me to keep those troops there. Anyway, let's see if I can get you on the rail. The answer is no. Because there's this one rail hex indeed that they took down. Okay, so what I'll do then is move both of these. Gotta move by rail. They probably are having some issues because they're already too low on everything. I'm just gonna put them on refit for a turn. Then let them gather their strength and leave it at that. So you're gonna be put under the 7th Corps. And that allows me to take out the entire 9th. Let's actually leave that on the Gomel Depot. Actually, the thing that I kind of want to do is move back into Gomel itself, because otherwise there's just gonna take it. I know that is a bit, well, actually what I'll do, okay, that didn't do anything. What I'll do is take you, split you up, get one part of it into Gomel so they can't outright take it, and have these other two hold the other side of the river, so we'll always have a river crossing at least. Let's actually hold in those light woods. That will probably serve me better than just staying in this one hex only. Yeah. Alright, so you're down there. That allows me also... First of all, let's move the 2nd Army into Mogilev. And let's start moving these guys further up. There's no way... they can actually move in there. So I need to get this pocket tighter. That's one thing. Let's actually get you on refit for this turn. At the back, and I will now also be able to move parts of the 4th Army out of here. My main problem, well, for starters, these guys are just generally in a bad spot. I mean, Desreich, fine, I don't need to move them. But maybe I can actually no, attacking the calf also doesn't help. Not really. Let's keep you on a refit. Fuel refit. These guys are just not gonna move this turn. There's just no reason to do anything with them. I feel like down here. Is there any unit that can move into this hex? It does not seem like it. What I will do, I think, is get 17th Panzer, move part of it in here. And at that point, I want them to occupy a few hexes. So let's do this, this. This. There we go. And that should keep it pretty tight. Guess as tight as can be for now. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I will move you guys up in here, and what that does is I will actually put them under the 8th Corps. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four. Yeah, okay. And get that core over here. So they're holding the northern flank, basically from Demidov, kind of moving up there. Yeah. Are there any units that can do a hard attack on that? It seems like there are. And I will try to put that to good use. Because I might be able to at least push through up north there. But I do need the prerequisite HQs. Also to be there. Retreated is not exactly what I had hoped for, but guess I'll have to take it. The one thing that could be pretty interesting now would be to attack from this side. So if I move you in here, that's pretty bad for the 20th motorized. But I need something else in there too. I'm not going to be able to do it with this alone. This is 6, and this will put it at 10. How about you? I'd rather attack with motorized units. Not so sure what to make of this. There are a few things that I could try to do. One of them is go for an encirclement of these. I mean, I can see that work out potentially. But these are going to be very tricky to beat, so I would basically need to just move from here and then move around, because there's no way I can get these guys out of that position. It looks like a 4-4, but them being in the swamp, I'm quite sure they'll be very beefed up. I don't actually see myself just going to take that. Not at all, actually. One interesting thing is that I could technically move up quite a bit. There is a potential there. Although one thing that I might do here is gather some units. If I can even. 2 of them. That pushes them back and allows my movement to be slightly easier here. Well, not necessarily for you, but... Yeesh. I am, however, afraid that I will have to do this with this motorized. And Ostdeutschland. And launch a soft attack. I mean, it did work, technically. Second time at least should be easier. Well, regardless of what happens, I need to move you in there. And 10th motorized in here. As an encirclement, what's going on here is nothing interesting, but okay, let's sacrifice 18th Panzer, because a sacrifice I feel this is probably in terms of tanks. They already can no longer move up in here. What if they move in here? Will I take these hexes? They will not take this. Oh, because of the calf, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. You know, it sucks in terms of losses. Okay, so this at least encircles them. If they want to teleport a unit here, well, can I not seal it anyway? Could you move into this? No, you cannot. It's just too bad of a movement. I'm quite sure you could go in there. But they have such a serious potential about moving up. One possibility, moving in here. Doing this now. I'm keeping these units in Vladimirsk. That altogether like, that's not amazing, obviously, but it forces the Soviets, again, they have nothing in this area, so they would have to either retreat with some units, reorganize them. It should just altogether be a pretty good deal for me to have it like this. And the problem is that because they have these swamps here, the movement is just going to be terrible around this area. There's nothing I can do here, so I'm altogether relatively pleased with just doing this. Hopefully I can get these guys out of the way then on the next turn, and we can actually make something out of it. Now, what I'll do is there are a few of these guys that I'll move forward, but then not do too much. So the idea is to just keep them on the hexes that I've already taken before. Just like that. At this point too, I want to continue moving the 9th Army again further up north. And just see where I can get them to end up. And I also try to get the 2nd Panzer Army to move further up north here. So the 2nd and 4th armies will then deal with whatever we have in here, while I try to move the rest of these further away. What do you have? These 3. So I really only need 1 unit in this hex. You can move out, start moving up north. Just like these. That's the important thing. So as it is, let's move a lot of units into that center area. And you can actually move up here, so take care of it like that. This will free up units, these guys at least, to move up here. I'll move them closer there, but oh, okay. I guess what I can do is put you guys under the 43rd. So that they can move up. Okay, there we go. So that should then also allow me to move you in here. Still have some tanks. Ooh. let's just start taking more of that rail line. The further we go, the further they have to teleport back. It seems like they have a unit in Viasma. Altogether, not too surprising. Yeah, I'm gonna take that back. Let's have you cross the river. I mean, you can also get pretty far. There. Let's move them up. Both of these cores, yeah, you actually need to move quite a bit further ahead. And you, with just 2 units, let's move you 1 hex to the side, because this will allow me to have both 9th Army and 3rd Panzer Group into Smolensk itself. It's a bit weird to have all 3 of these in that exact location, but this is exactly where they should be. So, because we're now trying to expand from Smolensk into all 3 directions, technically towards this side, going for this here rail line towards Sukinichi, sorry. Wow. Towards Sukinichi, and then the other one towards Viasma, trying to get into these locations. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Next turn we'll have the railroad moving in and up north. Very important to get that railroad up north going as well towards Viasma, so we can benefit from those supplies. Meanwhile, I will... If I rail them further down, I wonder why they're not railing. Oh, that's this one rail part that isn't actually connected. I thought I repaired that. Wow. Okay, that sucks. You know what? It seems like you can move in there, and you can't. Oh, you can get off. Huh. Well, let's move them towards Smolensk. So that's a pretty reasonable movement that way. Then we'll be okay. And yeah, we've got that covered now. Huh. You know, that, as interesting as it is, it's actually not that bad of a turn. The huh. Yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty good about this turn, interestingly enough. Up till now, I've mostly had turns where I was feeling like, that didn't go super well, but I'm actually feeling a little bit more confident about things now. So that's nice. Well, last few things. I'm actually gonna take care of a few other things off screen. Things like maybe shuffling around some of the artillery, repositioning some of the HQs, although I will have to see whether that's actually what I'm gonna do. One thing's for sure though, is that this HQ needs to go in here. Let's actually move them here. Because there is... No, it doesn't matter actually. Because the rail isn't fixed yet. Yeah, I'll actually go off screen and indeed fix a few of those things. And afterwards I'll be back. So then we'll go to the enemy's turn and we'll see what happens. Alright, I'm back and I took care of a few things. Not too much actually. One thing I did is I sent the Blue Infantry Division over up to the north towards Pskov by a rail line. Put them under the 16th Army. That's one thing. I moved, for example, the army group north up a little bit, and let's actually get the 16th Army into Ostrov, not down there. Alright, that's good. Then, besides, I put the the army group center in Orsha for now. I'll move them towards Smolensk when I have the option to. As one notable thing, I moved Army Group South to Vinnytsia. I also got the Croatian reinforcements over to the 6th Army. So that's another thing that I did. I moved the Motorized Brigade just a little bit forward. And yeah, I moved a 9th Romanian Cavalry Brigade, which is a unit that got released this turn. And I basically send it towards Odessa for now. And that's pretty much about it. None of these guys are active, so I can't really do anything with that. That's pretty much all. Besides, I want to take a quick peek at all these other areas. The garrison is not 100% up to snuff yet. It's at 89. So I'll still have to work with that a little bit. I will have to send something. Maybe I should have sent decorations. Maybe I'll do that soon. We'll see if I actually get the chance. Well, not right now. So we'll see. Anyway, that is it for this turn. Let's wrap it up and do AI depot management first. I actually was talking about how I might want to switch some stuff around still with the leaders. I will go and take a look at that. I really don't think this is necessarily the right way to do it, but okay. Yeah, let's actually just leave that stuff alone. I think one thing that I probably want to do still, I actually haven't done that, is put you under the 26th. There is that. And on this here hex, I actually want to build a fortified zone, and if I can, they will not allow me to do that. Well, that's too bad. I still have you to move. One thing is they could try to move down. I would not like that. These guys could probably just move through here anyway. But I cannot move them into Novgorod. Well, the thing is that the more up they go, the better, at least for now. Alright. Bam. This is really bad. I really don't like the fact that they did that. But luckily they sent only one. Because the Soviets are actually flying, but my units aren't. I mean, I did say I would not deal with the air stuff, so there is that. But let's see what the Soviets make of it. The fact that we've crossed here now means that hopefully soon they will also not be able to use these air bases, although they don't seem to be having anything here. But down here at Sevastopol they do, at least for whatever we can see. So they might send ships actually over through that way, or planes over to do it as a through that way. But with the German air landing division, I actually do think I have a pretty decent chance at taking Odessa on the next turn. Which would free up quite a bit of Romanian forces, which also in large part still need to reinforce. I might actually put that entire army in the reserve for the moment. At least perhaps, but yeah, we'll see. I do have to break through the Tartar ditch over here anyhow. If I can do that quickly early on, I might actually be able to get into the Crimea with the 11th Army already pretty early. Which would be pretty beneficial, of course. But we'll see. I do feel like the chance of them actually breaking through any of these the pockets is slim to none, though. So at the very least, we got that going. I think should be pretty good. We'll then be able to see how much we can kick down the Soviet manpower. We didn't kill that many this turn, so I do expect them to go above 300,000. And they do have a bunch of units in reserve as well, so if they are not 300, above 3 million. So I think if they do feel like that, I guess they just kind of could. Not really a whole lot stopping them from doing that. They're not really doing any attrition attacks for now. Might be gathering up for something here. They might feel like that might be useful. Doesn't really look like it though. And with them in the garrison urban area phase, it does suggest that they're also just not really interested. Trying to break free. Seems like the Soviets were, however, capable of doing some very weird movement up in there. We'll have to see how that works out. That does not make a whole lot of sense, but as long as they didn't break into that pocket, I'll be fine. But it just moving like that does not seem, again, like it's very normal. I'll probably have to route those guys out, but alright, come on. I know this takes pretty long, generally. Alright, let's take a look. So down the south, this is fine. Then up here, it's also okay. Seems like they retreated quite a bit there. Then they did some weird stuff here. Are they isolated now? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They can do some very strange stuff here. We have Soviet partisans again. We know the USS Greer. On September the 4th, 1941, the USS Greer becomes the first United States warship fired upon by a German U-boat in the war, even though the US is a neutral power. Tensions heightens between the two nations as a result. The US is now committed to convoy duties between the Western Hemisphere and Europe. On September the 11th, Franklin D. Roosevelt orders the United States Navy to shoot on sight if any ship or convoy is threatened. Let's just start with some air directives here, and I do think there is some stuff we can do here to clear things up. Because they didn't break this pocket, I don't think this is too serious. I want to make them surrender, don't get me wrong, but alright. There we go. Let's first take a look how far we can actually take this. So, I don't really care about this one individual hex. The thing is that moving through the heavy woods is generally pretty rough. It takes quite a bit, but it seems like my units did make it through there just fine. Now, I actually don't need these guys in this section anymore, so I'll send them around. I can probably get these guys moving onto that area pretty soon. So let's go here. It is not clear yet whether I can take torpedoes, so I'm not counting my laurels just yet. Can move in here though. No, I can't take it. I guess soon maybe. But okay, they're not gonna be able to get into Velikiluki at any time soon now. That does mean that we're kind of in this somewhat of a consolidation phase here, where I'm just trying to grab as much territory here as possible. I can probably get all the way up to this river. That's pretty neat. And again, I'm just looking to keep a distance of 2 hexes between each individual unit. Let's actually take a look at the Soviet numbers. They didn't... Yeah, they got a bunch of reserve forces, but they didn't actually put them on the map, interestingly enough. Well, ultimately, I don't mind about that, but... Interesting it is. Okay, they did not surrender. But that's okay. I'll move the HQ here now because that's technically the easiest on my supply lines for now. Okay, so taking or repairing those 2 hexes, if we go to the rail line now, should allow me to have both this and this entirely. So that's really neat. How's the rail down here? Okay, this is perfect. So I did repair that 1 hex. I kind of thought for a second maybe I didn't, but I did, so that's good. What I'll do is I'll have... Can you guys move by rail? No. I'll have these guys now go and work on this Vitebsk-Smolensk rail line. And very likely, well, what I should do actually here, I can either finish up the rail line from here to Adritsa, which will give me a second rail line to work this way. Or already move up north. Probably moving up north is going to be better. Now moving all the way up here is probably not super useful, so let's work on this area of the rail for now. Just a little piece to get this out to Dno. Next turn I'll move up to Plyusha and then work my rail a bit further. That does seem to be the best outcome for the moment. Seems like for whatever reason it did take that. Well, that's fine. I mean, I'm looking to take these areas now anyway. And as usual, I'm just doing the easier stuff first. Let's get you in here. I don't know whether they still have movement points or anything, but the fact that they're still out there does mean you kind of have to beat them around. Let's get the blue infantry off the train, but that's not the most important thing to do for now. Okay, let's see, because I think In order to take these two hexes, I have to move into this one. And then here. This gives me a pretty reasonable kind of territory. The fact that they retreated here is a great boon. Unfortunately, I cannot move into that hex. What if I go in here? Are you? Yeah, okay. That would have been even better, but I'm not going to worry about it because they retreat behind that anyway. Okay, well, the likelihood of, yeah, I can actually encircle both of these divisions, so that doesn't, or apparently there's an infantry brigade and a rifle division. Well, that's still going to be really good for me. Let's move into this hex first, see if this is empty. Yes, it is, because if I can move all the way up and take Torkovici here, that would just improve my situation even more. So at that point, I don't really... in order to make sure that they don't escape, do I want to cross the river already? That's actually pretty tricky. So I'll think about that for later. The one thing I do want to do is use my unit with the least movement. Oh, they actually have something there. Huh. This is interesting because this, yeah, it's now isolated. Well, that gets me another unit. I guess that's beneficial. So I can no longer get it to Kingisep. Well, at the very least, 100%. Well, like I said, let's just do the easier stuff first. Not in a hurry. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's just get a few surrenders. This is probably fine since it's a brigade. Yeah, you're a bit tricky because they're behind a river here. Which makes it a bit hard because you also cannot go in there and do a heart attack. You can go back and then do a heart attack. Question is just whether that's really worth it. Not necessarily. Okay, well, taking this as a river crossing is pretty decent. Let's take a look here. So they actually retreated entirely there. It seems like, yeah. Then in here... Okay, they also abandoned these hexes. That means that I can probably go and try to cross soon. At any rate, let's take a look here. I feel at least that maybe this is possible. Yeah. I'll take this, because they do still have a supply hex there. Me taking all of this is just going very slowly, but I don't actually mind. You cannot do a heart attack? What? It's not across the river, though. Do they? Southeast, southwest, and west. So it kind of shouldn't be a problem. Which one is it then? You can do a heart attack. You can do a heart attack. It's this infantry division. They're unready. Ah. Okay. Nope. Ah, come on, man. Great. Alright, well, let's leave it then for this turn. That's not good. This is tricky already. Yep, they didn't make it. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that I put these Italians under the 16th Army. Forgot to say. Anyhow. Getting this rail up to this point. There are a few things I can do here. I'll think, or at least I think I'll start. I can either start working from here or here. Let's just count the number of hexes that I would need to deal with. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to get to Nikolaev. Whereas from here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's start working from here. Make our way down. That's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing there then. These infantry are less important than this tank. I know I'm attacking across the river. Yeah. The tanks are important because they get to move a whole lot, whereas the other units probably don't. Let's use the cav first to move in here, make sure they cannot retreat. And then launch the attack. Good. I don't need to protect Nikolaev then anymore, at least. You know what? Let's take this. Since these guys are not gonna attack this turn anyway, I might just as well take this hex, because otherwise... yeah, it's just a bit weird here. Alright, that's, I guess, pretty much it for the easy stuff. Besides the... Hungarians, I guess, taking some of this, and here. At least those weaker forces, they'll just take those individual hexes. No real reason to worry about it besides. Only other thing now is you working on the rail, but we'll fix that up soon enough anyway. All right, let's just take a look at the numbers here for now. Soviets are again down to 2.9, but they do have a lot of reserve forces. Tanks, they're down significantly as well. We're actually fielding almost the same amount of tanks at this point. Soviets do have again double the amount of planes. That happens. If we take a look, yeah, let's just go here. Victory points, we're up to 466 due to the capture of both Kiev and nothing else. Is it? Yeah, I think I only captured Kiev, right? Yeah, that's the only thing that gave me points. Yeah, indeed. We're getting close to new points, though. Rzhev being the most notable one, I think, together with Dnipropetrovsk, and Odessa should be pretty soon. Now. It does look like at least we might be able to get up to Lyuban as well. Not that getting Lyuban helps, but I need to cut them off from supply at least here, and then I'll start bombing or naval interdictioning this area here soon too. Now that we're reducing this this area here. So there's that. Then besides, I guess we're soon to take Toropets at the very least. When did they historically capture that? Probably a lot earlier too. August 29th, yeah. Yeah, okay. So there's that. I can still clear this out. Don't want to say that's necessarily easy, but let's see if neither of them can move in here without suffering a big penalty. Even in here is pretty troublesome, it seems. Don't make a trick like that. They did retreat. That's pretty important because that makes it easier to get into this hex. And now I can go into this hex. There we go. And this is an attack across the river. I'll probably not be able to do a heavy attack from this side now. Let's just go. There we are. Like I said, that does help a little bit in terms of numbers. So that's another 20,000 gone. I'll see how I'll take care of these. That's a lot more trivial. I suppose. So let's also take for 1 second before I wrap things up here at the capture screen. I always like looking at that. It's one of my favorite things to do. See what kind of shenanigans we've captured this time. Anything special so far? Not really. Down here, I'm not super familiar with this field gun. Some anti-tank, etc. A lot of howitzers, things like that. Yeah, we haven't really captured anything new here. BT2, yeah, we've had these before already. T2441s. We did capture some of those. I don't think I've seen these before, all in this large of numbers. KV1 M41s. We've seen quite a few of the KV the 30 or 9040 before, but wait. Oh, this is the T40, not the T. Sorry, just I was like, huh, that little, but yeah, T3441, T28. We already did capture those before, just like these. I think this is also new. These T26s from 1933. I don't think we've captured those before, but it's not surprising since the Soviet tank numbers are so low now. They must really, in terms of tanks, they must be scraping the barrel, at least according to their standards. Anyway, I'll be wrapping this one up. Thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.